I played right tackle and I played left guard. I was in Lyle's situation. But the deal for me was I'm a natural left-hander. So I'm used to putting my hands on you on the left side. But when I went out to the right side, I had to dance, especially with guys like Reggie White. That was kind of hard because that wasn't my strong hand. So, Lyle is left-handed, but he's learning to play to the right. For him, all he got to worry about is being caged in. I got a tackle, I got a center. I'm caged in. You can't go nowhere. Let's play muddy ball. That's who he is. He's a muddy ball player. Out there, he have to dance with the Wolves. He have to dance with the Kodiak Bears. That ain't a nice thing. You get what I'm saying? He can do both. So inside, you're a caged bear. Outside, you got to be a big ballerina on tiptoes.
Offensive coordinator Nate Newton, you're playing Lyle Collins in a couple rotations at guard?
Yeah, I got to. I got to have him. You want your best five. Lyle is your third best lineman. You got to put him in there somewhere. Not this week, not next week. Eventually, you have to get your best five in because the road gets harder and tougher as we go.
It's a long season, 17 games, and the Cowboys have certainly talked about it being a long season as well. Lyle Collins talked about this week being a team player in really a situation that he's not used to.
Oh no, it wasn't surprising. I've been in meetings with the guys. I think after the first 2 weeks, and obviously just watching them play and play together, everything's been going great. So, I wasn't surprised at all. I just kind of figured, whenever I got back, just make sure I'm ready to go, wherever. That's the biggest thing for me.
Can you talk about working at left guard again? It's been a while since you worked there, and how is your approach here? You feel you're competing to get a starting job back at either position, or just kind of your mindset and approach right now?
My mindset has always been the same. Not really necessarily thinking about, competing for a starting job. I know I'm a starter wherever, I can play wherever. But the biggest thing is being supportive of my teammates and, the guys in the locker room that's been there and been, in these games each and every week, the ones that I've been sitting at home watching. So, I just wanted to get back in here and show them that, now that all that is behind me, that I can, focus on just helping the team win and do whatever it is that they ask me.
Do you think it'll take you a little bit of time, or how much time do you think it'll take you to get back to the level where you feel you were before the suspension?
I really just feel like it's not really that it's really more of just kind of getting into that routine, that muscle memory. Because you can run, you can lift, you can do everything conditioning and weight room wise that you want. But the real deal is when you actually, in pads, hitting somebody, and also just just getting, that's the real football shape. So, I'll just say that. But the first week, it's been good, been really good, and just looking forward to, continuing to get better, working on the things that I can work on, and just focusing on my craft.
Lyle Collins being back in the rotation, maybe helping this Cowboys offense out in short yardage situations. The Cowboys just 2 of 5 in the red zone in the win in Week 6 against New England, and they'll look to improve upon that. And Isaiah, I know this has been a topic of conversation around Kellen Moore for years, but is the Achilles heel of this #1 offense for the Cowboys really in the short field?
I don't believe so. As much attention as this has received over the past few years, everybody wants to point at Kellen Moore and say, what does he have to figure out to get us turned around in the red zone? We have all these weapons. Why aren't we scoring enough points? I don't foresee that being the issue. We've had a couple turnovers down there on the black zone, which is at the 5-yard line and in. You guys remember last week we had the goal line stand right there with Dak losing the ball. There's been a couple of those instances that we've lost, a couple turnovers down there. But the big issue that I want everybody to pay attention to is really the third down completion. The third down percentage, we're at 46%. That's the aspect that we have to address in order for us to be able to sustain drives. And when we improve that number, the red zone number improves as well.
When you're in the red zone, and I'm talking to Kellen Moore, it's all right to run Zeke. It's okay to run Zeke, but what you have to do is you have to take advantage of Blake Jarwin, and you have to bring Amari Cooper into the game, a guy with a fast, quick step that can make routes happen real quick. And I believe if Coach Kellen do that right there, and along with Lyle, a big body in the middle, are moving across that formation, you can get movement or you can sustain blocks. That's all red zone is about, is how quick can you get on your guy and maintain a block.
Is that going to be a problem for the Cowboys tonight against a really vicious front seven from the Vikings?
Yes, it will be. But guess what? You still have Lyle that you can put in as that extra guy. You can go overload to one side and dominate that one side. So you have an advantage, I think, tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's going to be a challenge. We know that the strength of their defense is there in the front seven. We're going to have to be able to work up to those guys and get them blocked up, not only get past their front line with Everson Griffin, Hunter, and those guys, but also you have to deal with Barr and Kendrick at the second level. If we secure those guys, we'll be all right.
Going to have to be a tough situation for that front line, and maybe that you see some heavy packages. We've seen Connor McGovern put in at fullback. Maybe Lyle Collins is mixed in a little bit in that kind of situation as well. The Cowboys, #1 in scoring offense and in yards gained. They're also the third team since the merger in 1970 to have 5 wins, over 200 points, and average over 150 rushing yards per game in their first 6 games. The previous 2 teams to do it, both won the Super Bowl. So if that's any indication, Cowboys Nation should be very excited about the possibilities of this team. And more on that, let's go to Britt Johnson.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you so much, Kyle. I will say everybody that I saw on Twitter seemed pretty positive about the outcome of this upcoming game against the Vikings. This first one here kind of says it all. James Dixon says, guys, don't worry. The Cowboys have this one game at a time. And even if not, guess what? We have a 3.5 game lead in the NFC East. Our next one here, in case you aren't so sure about it, maybe say this little prayer. This prayer was hilarious by Tony. She says, Our Father, who art in Dallas, thy 6th ring come, thy goal will be done. Give us this day on Sunday. Win, lead us not into overtime, but deliver us from penalties. For thine is the game, the power, and the glory. Amen. I mean, you got to love that, right? You got to say that prayer if you do not have faith in this game today. Love that one. Thank you so much for that, Tony. And we know it's Halloween, but it's also a game day. So this is probably what 90% of Cowboys fans are going to look like today. It says, I'm staying in Sunday night for the game, like Cowboys Nation. In a Cowboys jersey, Spider-Man, you got to love it. And finally, our last tweet. This person has their candy ready for everyone. Now, choose wisely here. It says, Happy Halloween, go Cowboys. If you are a Vikings fan, you get some carrots in a bag. But if you're a Cowboys fan, you get Skittles, M&Ms, all the good stuff. So even if you're not a Cowboys fan, maybe say you're a Cowboys fan when you go to that person's house. And of course, the question of the day has been, is Dak Prescott going to play? I did a survey on my Twitter earlier today, and about 55% of you guys said he's going to play. I think that's a good number. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, thank you very much, Britt. And unfortunately, Dak Prescott not playing, so 55%. I love the positivity from Cowboys Nation. It's more of carrots and treats, I guess you could say, on that front doorstep. Did you ever get a carrot for Halloween, Nate?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of not so many treats, because I was a big guy and they always wanted to play a trick on me, but I could eat that too. So okay.
You can eat a carrot.
Yes,
That's
I can.
Okay. That's
or
good.
2
Isaiah?
or 3.
No, I try to go for the king-size candy bars.
Hey, that's the best way to do it as the Cowboys getting set to face the Vikings at 7:20 kickoff on NBC. Now, the winner of this game is going to have to run the football efficiently. Let's talk about the ground game from both of these sides. Minnesota, 26th in run defense this season, and they're 30th in yards per carry allowed. How much does Dallas rely on the run game from Zeke and Pollard without Dak Prescott available?
Boy, obviously now is even going to be very heavy. We need these two guys, this two-headed monster, to be very effective for us. We need to be able to go up there and force our will upon their D-line and their linebackers. I think the more effective we are in the run game, the more one-on-one matchups we'll have. We want to try to do whatever we can to bring Harrison Smith down there into the box. Now, 33 yards away, that's what Zeke is from being the 5th player ever to reach 9,000 scrimmage yards. He'll be the 5th player ever in history, fastest in history to reach it, behind Edgerrin James, LaDainian Tomlinson, Eric Dickerson, and Le'Veon Bell.
Wow.
Hopefully we see that today.
And I hope Zeke do every bit of that. But you know what? Tony Pollard is going to be the difference maker in this game. the matchup, who's going to cover him coming out of the backfield. You're going to have to get that ball out of him because I know Coach Coach Zim, dudes falling off parachutes blitzing us. They stacking the defensive line and the offensive line. We're going to have to get the ball to Tony Pollard and let him do some open field running.
And what has Zeke seen on the film this week that he feels like this Cowboys offense can take advantage of? Let's hear from him in his own words.
They like to sprinkle in some shell. So anytime we get shell defense, we love to run the football. So it'll be interesting to see how much shell they sprinkle in. How much single high they'll play. But we definitely love the opportunity to play against teams that run shell.
You guys are on such a roll before the bye. What are the challenges of kind of restarting your season again at this point?
I think we just got to make sure that we come back and not miss a beat. We just got to come back and just continue to play good football. This happens to me a lot. Our focus every week still is to get better every week. So just gotta grow from that last game we had in New England, and just keep coming a better team.
So hearing from Ezekiel Elliott there, currently third in the NFL since 2019 in total scrimmage yards. The man that's number 2 on that list is DALVIN Cook, and he's on the opposite sideline, and this Dallas defense has a tough task of slowing him down today. Luckily, we have a couple former players, Britt Johnson back with us as well, to tell us how that Dallas defense and Dan Quinn are trying to scheme against DALVIN Cook.
Yeah, well, hands down, DALVIN Cook is one of the most dangerous running backs in this league. Has been for a while, and he continues to present those same issues to every single defense that he faces. What do they do so well on that side of the ball? They do a good running scheme. If you guys can remember old school Terrell Davis, that's the type of scheme that these guys run. They want to stretch you outside, use their offensive linemen to get up to that next level where the linebackers are, and then play off of those guys for the big plays. He's physical, he's fast. We have to find a way to slow him down. We are going to show you guys exactly what we have to do on that side of the ball. My man Kyle's going to be playing the offensive lineman. I'm going to be playing DALVIN Cook. Ms. Britt right here is going to be playing KIRK Cousins. And then my boy BC is going to be playing Micah Parsons at the second level, showing you how to get off these blocks. Let's roll with it. All right, so as we get set here, okay, we got KIRK Cousins with the ball. We're going to go right off the snap. Boom, snapping it, coming off. Boom, here we go. He has the ball. He's going to stretch it. As soon as DALVIN Cook sees the outside shoulder of this lineman right here, as soon as the defense plays on that side, he is going to use that as an opportunity to cut up inside because he thinks that his lineman can kick him out. But, Barry, what's going to happen?
Micah Parsons is going to have to use his strength. And all great linebackers do a great job of doing this when they encounter the offensive lineman. They're going to have to shock, lock, and escape from the offensive lineman, get into that hole, fit right where those thigh boards are, rise through, and make sure he brings his big boy pads because DALVIN Cook is a load to bring down. It's not going to take just one man. He's not going to run. He's going to run through all these arm tackles. This guy is a load, and we got to gang tackle him. It's going to be a tough task for this defense, but I'm sure they're up for the task.
Man, you guys really broke that down the right way. And DALVIN Cook, of course, already missing a couple of games this year. He's had a lingering ankle injury. And then last season, if you want to look at how good he's been off of a bye week, it was also week 8, and he had a little added rest. He went 30 carries for 163 yards and 4 total touchdowns against the Green Bay Packers. Wow. How tough of a matchup is this, Nate, whenever you look at DALVIN Cook and what he could do to this Dallas defense?
He's special. Like these guys showed us earlier, he's special, man, and he loves to run downhill. A lot of these stuff is outside zone, but 60% of their plays are ran right up the middle off the outside eye of the right guard or the left guard. And when he gets going downfield, man, you have to have that 7th guy in the box, that safety, to come up and make that tackle for little or no gain. And if they don't do that right there, they can have a long day dealing with DALVIN.
So does that mean it's a big day for guys like Chayron Kearse, Donovan
Yes, sir.
Wilson? Of course, Kearse going against his former team.
Right, and he going to have to be ready. It's one thing to practice this against a great guy like that. It's another thing to see him coming at you full speed. So we're going to have to be sure tackles. We're going to have to rally like Church said, and we're going to have to come with great leverage on this guy.
How fundamentally sound do the linebackers have to be to stop a guy like Cook?
Do not try to pre-read gaps. If you see a gap wide open, don't take it. It's like candy in a candy store. You take it, you're going to wind up sick later on the night because he's going to run for about 40 yards on you. So don't fall for the candy.
So don't get tricked by the treats. That's exactly what it is. Halloween best here for Nate Newton. Let's hear from Micah Parsons and what the priority of the defense is going into this matchup.
First, we got to stop the run. get them backed up a little bit. And, you know, I think we got so many good pass rushers and blitz techniques that, you know, if we could hopefully get the 3rd and long, we'd be able to go get after the quarterback. But, I mean, I think the main key, obviously, is stop the run. They got some really good backs, and they show a great threat. You know what I mean? One tackle away from busting a long one, so we got to slow them down.
The impact you guys have made as rookies, Osa, Chauncey's, the last couple of weeks as well. What kind of influence do you think you guys have had in the defense?
I think we had a really good impact. You know, it all starts with, like, belief in the teammates. You know, some things is not always, like, what shows on the field. It shows on making people step up, you know, when people feel challenged and you challenge your other teammates to do more and do better, because I think at this point, I think anybody could play on this team. That's how deep we are. And I think we're all out there fighting for reps. So every day you got to come and show up. So I think it's been challenging the whole team defensively, and I think that's really been making a difference.
Going back to defending against the Vikings, DALVIN Cook, he had a huge game 2 years ago against this team, led the Vikings in receiving and rushing. Obviously, there's some different parts of this defense now. Why do you guys think you guys can have success and continue?
I think, you know, DALVIN is really just a really, really good player, and not a lot of people built like him, you know what I mean? And I think it's hard to, like, take a player completely out of the game, but we got to try our best to slow him down and all rally to the ball, all 11 hats to the ball, and make sure there's no gap. You know what I mean? You can't let him breathe. You're in 1 inch and he's going to take it. So we all got to play 100% every snap and try to slow him down out there.
Micah Parsons in that Dallas Cowboys defense, along with tasked with stopping DALVIN Cook. They'll certainly look to try and get pressure on Kirk Cousins. It's the 10th all-time meeting between Cousins and the Cowboys. The Cowboys have owned Kirk Cousins to this point, a 7-2 record. But, gentlemen, this is a much different Kirk Cousins than what the Cowboys have seen in the past. Let's take a look at some of the stats that he has this year. 13 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions compared to the first 6 games of 2020, where he was almost even in the touchdown-interception ratio. What has he been doing differently, Isaiah, that really allows him to be successful here this year as opposed to what he's done in the past?
I think he's doing the same thing that Dak's doing for us this year. He's allowing his playmakers to make plays. He's putting the ball in their hands. He doesn't feel like he has to be perfect with every throw. And then he also has a heck of an offensive coordinator in Kubiak that's giving him some amazing offensive schemes. These guys are a problem. We're going to have to get to these guys, get to them early, because these receivers, ooh-wee.
You know, and it's more of the same. I mean, when you mature and the light go on and you understand that I got Thielen out here, I got this other guy here, I got DALVIN in the back, I got a nice tight end. What's the rush? What's the rush? And he's matured. And people say, you know, hey, normally the Cowboys can get his number. We need to get his number tonight, but I think this kid is matured.
He's definitely been good throughout his career. Sure, he has had his lapses, but he's played 115 career games. He's only the 3rd quarterback to this point to have over 30,000 passing yards and 200-plus touchdowns in those 115 games, along with Peyton Manning and Dan Marino. So he's up there statistically. It's whether or not he can win the games when you need him the most. And that's what you're going to have to see from Kirk Cousins in this one. And speaking of converting when you need it the most, how about a Barry church service? We haven't had it in a little bit of time, and Britt Johnson's here with us. Let's go in a little Sunday evening church service here from the Star.
All right, guys, it is time for some church service. We're getting the Holy Ghost in here today, literally, some kind of ghost in here. It is Halloween. I am here with Barry Church, and we're going to be talking about the offense a little bit. Now, I would say the Vikings and the Cowboys have pretty similar offenses, and they can run it. They can also pass it. I don't know if our run defense is going to be able to stop DALVIN Cook, but I heard you have some keys to stopping Kirk Cousins. What's your first key?
Well, let me go right into the list. I'm going to stop wasting time. Look, Kirk Cousins and this offense out here, they're extremely explosive. It's kind of a pick your poison type offense, similar to the Dallas Cowboys. But what we got to do defensively, the first must, is we have got to disguise our coverage. Look, Kirk Cousins, this is not the same guy we're used to playing against. He's playing some of the best ball of his career so far. 13 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. So he's making great decisions with the football. What we've got to do is disguise our intentions. We can't go out there with a vanilla defense because he has too much ability and he has too many weapons around him. He'll expose us. He'll get the better of us. So what we've got to do, disguise. If we're playing zone, let's show a little man. Let's show a little blitz coverage in there. And vice versa. If we're playing man and we want to play a little blitz, let's show an umbrella coverage with the zone beneath it. We have got to make this guy's job hard for him back there. We can't let him pick us apart. We've got to disguise our coverage.
Now, with that, you talked about what they have. They have Thielen, they have Justin Jefferson, and I think Osborne is playing really well as well. What they are really good at is actually separation. So that zone defense that he mentioned is definitely going to be key for our Cowboys. What you got for number 2?
Next on our list of musts, we have got to get pressure on Kirk Cousins. We have got to make life hard for him back there. In D-line, I'm looking at you for this one. I don't care who it is on the D-line, whether it's Randy Gregory, Odigizua, Dorrance Armstrong, whoever it is, we have got to be able to generate pressure with 4 people, hopefully with just 4 people, because if we can do that, we can use our linebackers, our safeties out there to help on that dynamic duo on the outside. So D-line, I'm counting on you. Make life hard for Kirk Cousins and this Vikings offense.
Now, this one is actually my number 1 for the key right here because when the pocket is clean, he is 78% pass percentage completion rating. So good, right? But pressure's on, 45%. So this is definitely a huge key for our team right now.
That is a huge key. But last but certainly not least, we have got to take advantage of our opportunities. Secondary, don't just go in there and make the, okay play by batting the ball down. Go in there and take a page out of Trayvon Diggs' book with 2 hands, secure the interception, make the spectacular play, make the splash play, and get the ball back to your offense. Same with the defensive line. Just don't go in there with the vanilla around the corner, get a sack. Nobody wants to do all that. Go around the corner, arrive with bad intentions on this quarterback, knock the ball loose, get the ball back to your offense, and let them do what they do best, and that is score touchdowns. But let me tell you something, Britt. I think I may have, way back in the archives, I may have an example of what happens when you do all 3 of those things.
A little church offering, shall we?
Ooh.
Barry Church, guys, if y'all didn't know, that was Barry Church, the man himself.
Going against Kirk Cousins. Offense took it 80 yards for the touchdown. Defense, we can do the same thing. Let's do it tonight.
All I got to say is, Kirk Cousins, you like that?
You like that?
All right, back to you, Kyle, because we heard there's some guy on the Dallas Cowboys team that can put some pressure on Kirk Cousins.
I got to do what I got to do. Doesn't matter who's over there,
Fumble! Picked up by Dallas. Gregory with a sack strip. A lot of time, now he's sacked. Gregory with a stunt to the inside. Gregory's coming. Gregory's got him for the second time. Gregory just abusing Cameron Irving.
Two sacks in the highest Pro Football Focus defensive grade in Week 6 against the New England Patriots. Randy Gregory has lived up to the hype in 2021. He has been an absolute nightmare for opponents this season. And Barry, I will say, if Randy Gregory has a pick in the end zone, he's probably going to take it out and not leave it up to his offense to do the work.
Don't be like me, kids. Make the spectacular play.
What have you guys thought about Randy Gregory and what he's brought to this defense in this pass rush this year?
Well, I think he's going to have a huge impact in this game. I mean, he has the size, the speed, the power to be a force at the defensive end. And I think he's just now scratching the surface. We've seen what he was able to do against New England. I expect him to go out here today against a rookie offensive tackle and take advantage of his one-on-ones and continue to be that driving force for this defensive line.
Yeah, speaking of scratching the surface, he's only been in on 59% of the plays for defensive snaps. So I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to have a greater impact with the more plays that he has on the field. When he's on the field, you obviously know his presence, and offenses also know exactly where the heck he's at.
Of course, no DeMarcus Lawrence in the mix for the next couple of weeks, even despite the bye week. But how much positivity does he bring to this pass rush? Because really, there's been no worry about getting pressure off the edge.
It's everything. I mean, he gives his entire defensive front and his entire defense confidence simply because of the fact that you know that you have a guy in the field that can get to the quarterback whenever he wants to. You remember a couple of weeks ago, he didn't get a holding call called on him, and so he got a little bit angry. So what did he do? He took it upon himself to go out there and run through the chest of offensive lineman, get the sack. That's the type of player that he is. He impacts everybody.
Yeah, he's a lead by example type of guy. You know, he's not very boisterous. He's not very out there as far as putting his voice out there, but he's a lead by example. Follow me, and that's the type of guy you want on your foxhole. Randy Gregory is this leader of this defensive line, and they'll continue to follow him.
There he is, getting warmed up at the moment and stretched out at U.S. Bank Stadium. He may have a big night tonight. He is faced with the rookie Christian Darrisaw. Darrisaw with his first start of his NFL career. Here's what Randy had to say about facing the rookie in his first start.
Hey, Randy, do you have any thoughts or opinions when you look and see that they're starting a rookie across from you in this matchup?
Not really. I think the big thing is not having a lot of film on him, at least in game form. I think he's only played like a game and a half. That'd probably be the only issue. Other than that, it's, you know, I got to do what I got to do. Doesn't matter who's over there, you know.
What are the points of emphasis defensively when you're going up against DALVIN Cook and KIRK Cousins?
Well, they're both really good players. Obviously, DALVIN being one of the better backs in the league, and Cousins is playing real well this year also. So, you know, we got to stop the run, which I think we do well, and you know, we'll get a little bit of help from the offense, and hopefully they can get up big on them and make them pass the ball. And you know, after that, just like we say every week, you know, get them off the spot. We'll do different things as far as rushing the passer and figuring out a rush plan and putting guys in the right place to get after them. But you know, come game day, it's really about what we do. It's not really about what they do. That's the way I try to approach things as the week goes on. But I think it's a good challenge. You know, I think they have a real good offense. There's different things we can do to kind of, you know, make the game go in our favor. That's what we'll do. So.
Lots of confidence in what could be a big day for Randy Gregory in this Dallas pass rush against a front five of Minnesota that has certainly given up their fair share of sacks throughout the year, but their defense has certainly picked up the slack as well. Minnesota has their own version of a pass rush, and it's led by Danielle Hunter. 6 sacks this season. Minnesota as a front has 21 sacks. That entering this week was tied for the most in the NFL. What does Danielle Hunter bring to the table? Because he's been very scary this year.
Yeah, I think he can be a huge threat out there for this Minnesota defense. I mean, he comes around the edge great. He has great bend, great power. He does that great speed to power rush to kind of catch offensive linemen off guard. So I'm sure they'll throw him over Terrence Steele and try to work his pass rush, try to generate a rush from that side. But I have full faith that Terrence Steele will be able to handle his business out there. But Danielle Hunter can be a handful. Yeah, the last thing we need on this Halloween day is for this Hunter to be hunting. We don't need that at all. You see that more so than even the sacks, the pressures that he's getting, especially against Cooper Rush. We don't need anybody around him causing him to have happy feet and inerrant throws.
Dallas going to have to hold up in all 4 quarters against that front seven from Minnesota. On the back end, they have some experience with a guy like Harrison Smith, 5-time Pro Bowler in his 10th year in the NFL. You take a look at some of his career numbers, but really the Minnesota secondary very thin outside of Smith. Patrick Peterson, the vet, placed on IR for the first time in his career. Can the receivers have a really big day, Barry? Without a doubt, I think they could take advantage of this secondary. I mean, even without Dak Prescott being out there, there's no Pat Peterson. Harrison Smith is a beast out there, but I just think we have too many weapons on the outside for them to contain. Kellen Moore's going to draw up some plays to get these offensive playmakers the ball in space and let them do damage. I think the Cowboys' passing attack will be just fine.
Yeah, I think we'll be just fine as well, as long as we can give that man right there some space. We do not need anybody around him. Breland and McKenzie at the cornerback positions, they don't scare me, nor do they scare our receivers. But Harrison Smith, you better circle him whenever he's on the field, because he's going to be all over the place. And CeeDee Lamb last time out against the Patriots, 9 receptions, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's also returning to the site of the crime of one of the catches of the year in 2020. He had an end zone grab, contouring his body backwards, and just so happens that Britt Johnson had a chance to catch up with the Cowboys' leading receiver.
Could you guys imagine CeeDee Lamb not wearing number 88? Well, that almost was the case. I did a one-on-one interview with him earlier this week on First and 10 with Britt Johnson, and he said his first choice was not 88 and a tons more. Check out this clip from the episode. You got drafted by the Cowboys, and first things first, jersey number. What jersey number are you going to be? I heard you did not want to be 88, but you got coaxed into being 88. Why did you not want to be 88, and how are you feeling about that number now?
Well, I didn't. Honestly, it just wasn't my first option. You know, just all the guys and all the things they've done in the number. I kind of want to start at my own legacy. You know, but it's just like me just being young and inexperienced into this like league, and then understanding the situation that I'm in. It was just like, I want to be this number, I want to be this number.
What number was it?
10. It was 10, yeah. So like initially Mike had hit me. He was like, what jersey number you want? And he sent me the options. And then I saw 88, but I was like, you know what? I think these guys, you know, they've had their time in this jersey number. So try 10, boom. And then right after, Mike was like, nah, we're going to give you 88. And then I was like, you know what? Bet, let's do it.
Continue the legacy.
I kind of like when I first got here, it was just like, it was all new to me. New team, new locker room, new jersey number, just a new start. So it was fun.
Well, speaking of when you first got here and everything being new, COVID happened. And so you're in the middle of COVID, your first season, your first game in the league, 0 fans in the stands. Tell me the difference between last year playing with no fans in the stands to this year playing with a stadium full of fans.
Big difference, big difference. Obviously the noise, the energy, the passion of the game, you get all that kind of like taken away from you because of the simple fact that the fans are not there. They make everything rowdy, they make the game go. Momentum is a real thing throughout the fans, and they just a huge asset to this game. And just not having them last year, it was kind of like, it was weird because like every game day we would get dressed, but it'll sound like practice.
Yeah.
So it's like I could hear the cadence from our team and the other team, opposing team. So it was just like, it was weird. It was new, especially coming from college. We had all the fans. It was new for me. It was a new adjustment for sure. And then this year it's fun. It's just like everybody was hurt last year also. Got the whole team back pretty much. Quarterback back, O-line back, D-line back. A lot of guys just repairing from the injuries, and just going through the season with them this year is a big difference.
And big difference, in week 6, you actually had your best game on paper. You had 9 receptions, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zeke said earlier this week that he kind of has a routine or superstition, you might call it, that every game he goes left foot first. So he has to put his left pant leg in first, left shoe on, left sock, and that has been his thing. Was there something different that you changed in your routine to have such like an explosive game last week? And is it something you're going to continue, like, or do you even have a routine?
Honestly, it's really not even a routine. It's just kind of like a feel, and that it starts pregame. Like throughout the game, I'm very anxious. I'm anxious to get out. I mean, throughout the day, I'm very anxious to get out there. And then like finally, when we actually pull up to the stadium, it's just like all the nerves and butterflies just hit me, and it's just like, wow, like I'm actually in the NFL. So I'll go out to the field, I'll look around, and then like once I feel like, it's the type of feel I get with my cleats, and I don't know how to really explain it, but it's like kind of internal, and it's just like whichever makes my feet feel the best, I feel like that's the cleat we're gonna go with, and that'll let me know if it's gonna be a real like good game or like, you know.
I think fantasy people would love to know that right before the game, like pregame. CD, how's your feet feeling today?
Yeah, I think they would like it. I think they would like it.
So something that you actually said yourself about what you want people to call you, you said you want to be called a great role model, a great person, and a great player. What does that look like for you? Like, for example, does a great player look like somebody who's won a Super Bowl, been a part of X amount of Pro Bowls? Like, what does that look like for you to be called all 3 of those things?
Honestly, just being consistent. I feel like anything that I've started, I feel like you be consistent throughout the season. The labels are going to come for sure, but ultimately the most one I want to be heard was those, to be a great player, great role model, and really a winner, honestly, if anything. Just win. I would like to be the best. Like, I would like to, you know, affect the ones around me in a great, positive way.
Right.
And, you know, leave everyone with great things to say about me.
You can catch the full interview with CeeDee Lamb and our great Britt Johnson on DallasCowboys.com. Back here with the crew at the Star in Frisco. Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans, where even without Michael Gallup, both CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper have been crazy impressive in their first 6 games of the 2021 campaign. Amari Cooper, 30 receptions, 373 yards, but it's CeeDee Lamb leading the way in both of those categories. Barry, when you look at this Minnesota defense, who has the advantage tonight?
I mean, pick your poison. I mean, this Vikings secondary is extremely thin right now. There's no Pat Peterson out there. So it's basically up for grabs. Whoever wants to have the most catches, they're going to have it. But if you boil it down, I'm going to go ahead with CeeDee Lamb. He had a great game last time out against New England. I'm going to keep that momentum going. I say CeeDee Lamb holds the title tonight.
Yeah, I think that their secondary is compromised as soon as these guys step on the field. The only area that we might be compromised is at the quarterback position. So unfortunately, you know, there's going to be a question mark in terms of which one of these guys is even going to have the ability based upon our protection and whether or not Rush can get the ball down the field.
Just early and often. use these guys early and often because they can't cover them. You know, get the ball out of the young quarterback hands early and often, and then as the game go on, they're going to creep up with the safety, and it's going to be all over. CD over the top.
There's going to be a lot of pressure on both Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, even the tight ends, Dalton Schultz, Blake Jarwin, then the running backs, like we've said, because if you're just joining us, no Dak Prescott tonight against the Minnesota Vikings, a calf strain, keeping him out of the Week 8 matchup. So it is Cooper Rush starting at quarterback. So with that being said, teams playing the Cowboys have had this scheme up against the Dallas weapons on every occasion, every week of the year. Well, now the Dallas defense has a taste of their own medicine as well. Dan Quinn having to deal with scheming against Minnesota's veterans and some of their weapons as well, with Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. I mean, these two guys are some of the best route runners in the league. And Barry, well, they're going to have their fill tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have their fill. Like you said, Justin Jefferson is one of the best route runners in the league. Extremely good hands. Thielen, he comes alive in the red zone. Last year, I think he had 15 touchdowns down there. So this is going to be one of the toughest duos that they have gone against all season. I would give the slight advantage to Tampa Bay because they got a trio out there, but this duo is extremely dangerous. This Cowboys secondary, you better be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, I agree with you, Barry. I think that Tampa Bay has a heck of a trio out there, honestly. But you just saw the stats for our guys. As much as CD and Coop get the ball, those guys both have 30 catches. Thielen and Jefferson have respectively 41 catches and 37 catches, right? With 5 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns. These guys get the ball, and they get the ball a lot. They want to get the ball in their hands. Thielen is more the possession guy. Jefferson is a big play.
Man, just hit them. And I know that sounds barbaric, but hit these guys. Put your hands on them. Keep them on the line as long as you can. Redirect them and let that pressure get up front. But you got to hit these guys. You got to be physical with them. That's the only way you can slow them down. Great route runners.
Adam Thielen, 8 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns last year against Dallas. Justin Jefferson, most likely going to be covered by Trayvon Diggs. Diggs, of course, setting all the records straight in terms of the defensive side of the football. These two actually faced off in college, but Jefferson was never targeted while Diggs was covering him. So let's talk about Trayvon Diggs a little bit. 7 interceptions so far this season. He's had one in each of the first 6 games, and he could set an NFL record with 7 straight games with a pick, with an interception tonight to open a season. Will he get another one with Justin Jefferson on the other side?
I'm going to go say yeah. I mean, the guy has been out there proving everybody wrong. He's been getting interceptions each and every week, no matter what coverage it is. Zone, man-to-man, press, playing off. It doesn't matter what he is. He's getting these interceptions. He's tracking the ball in the air like a wide receiver. When that ball's in the air, he thinks it's his. So I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to get another one tonight.
Hey, when Church has to say it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Listen up, y'all. He has an opportunity to write his name in the history books today, right? Like Kyle said, 7 be the only player ever in his first 7 games of the season to get an interception in every single game. I don't think he's going to miss that opportunity.
I tell you what, don't press, young fella. Just let it come to you. And when it comes, take advantage of it. That's what you've been doing. Hey, no pressure from Big Newton.
That's the wise words of Nate Newton. That's the veteran talking, saying, hey, don't worry about the individual. Go out there and get a win. That's what Cowboys fans are looking for. That's what Trayvon Diggs is looking for in his own words. Here's what he had to say about the matchup he's faced with.
They're both 2 good receivers. Both high in receptions, high in yards. Both really good, really talented.
Did you go against Jefferson?
I haven't won against him.
Even back in the day? What is it? I mean, his numbers are pretty astounding. When you look at what he and CD been able to do. Yeah. Can you talk, going against CD, going against Amari, how that helps you?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best receivers in our class. Him and CD are much alike. Really good, talented, go get the ball, good routes, and yeah, it's gonna be a good matchup.
Will you travel with Jefferson?
It don't really matter because, like I said, they both high in reception. They're both really good receivers, so it's like pick your points or whatever one. So it really wouldn't matter. I feel like if I do, I do, but I don't know the game plan yet.
How much better is your ankle?
Good, a lot better.
Was it weird not getting an interception?
Huh?
Was it weird not intercepting a pass last week?
I was doing it in my house.
Be sure to get your popcorn ready because these 2 second-year starts, Justin Jefferson, Trayvon Diggs, it's going to be crazy entertaining on Sunday Night Football. Let's head back out to U.S. Bank Stadium where our own Rob Phillips is joined now by Stephen Jones.
Thanks, Kyle. Here with Cowboys Chief Operating Officer Stephen Jones. Stephen, no surprise here. I'm going to ask you about number 4. Dak Prescott inactive tonight. What was the deciding factor in making that decision?
I think that's a long football season. We got 11 games counting this one tonight to play. and we needed to do what was in his best interest for the long haul, and just felt at the end of the day the right thing to do was to inactivate him tonight. And certainly we've got a lot of confidence in Cooper Rush and what he can do with this offense. He's obviously, this offense playing at a high level, strong offensive line, some really good running backs back there, and then of course the receiving corps doing some really nice things as well. So I think Cooper's the right guy to take advantage of that, and I think we'll play good offensive football tonight with Cooper at the helm.
We saw Dak go through another warm-up pregame here. He looked good, as he did throughout the week. How close was it? I mean, could tonight have decided that position?
It's close. I mean, he's obviously really close and not far away, but at the same time, what you don't want is a setback. And I don't know what setbacks can do, and that can be longer periods of time. So just felt like, hey, he's close, but let's get another week of this, in the books, and I think he'll be ready to go.
How much did he lobby you guys? We know how much he. I
won't get into the details. He's a highly competitive guy this is the stage he likes, and certainly very difficult for him. He wants to be here for his teammates. He wants to be out there playing. Goes without saying, it's hard on him, but he also understands this is a long season, and we've got big aspirations for this football team.
You mentioned Cooper Rush, and Kellen Moore has done such a great job calling plays. Do you see the offense changing much? Not giving too much away, but obviously you feel like you can run the same offense with Cooper.
Yes, I think he can run the same offense. Cooper's got some sneaky athletic ability, and certainly a great anticipator with the ball. I think he'll do a great job in this offense.
Kelvin Joseph active tonight for the first time. What are your expectations for your second-round draft pick?
Well, but like a lot of these guys who've been out, you got to work them back in. Certainly he'll get a big dose of special teams, and then we'll just see if there's opportunities as the game goes on. If there's opportunities for him, he'll start to work in on the defense as well.
Final question for you. Lyle Collins active tonight, back on the active roster. Can he back up either position for you guys, guard, tackle? Is he prepared to do both?
Obviously, that's what he's been doing this week, doing a little bit of both as he works back in. And, he's a highly competitive guy, really likes to compete. But certainly after missing, over 5 weeks, we need to work him back in slowly. And we'll see kind of what the situation presents tonight.
Thank you for the time. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Cowboys Chief Operating Officer Stephen Jones, back to you, Kyle.
Thank you so much, Rob. And this is a familiar face to the Jones family. Mike Zimmer, formerly here with the Cowboys. And this is what he's done against #1 scoring offenses going into the week as both a head coach and a defensive coordinator. A 6-2 record, but all 8 games he has held that offense underneath their scoring average, and a 19.5 points per game average. Not the greatest when you talk about some of the top offenses in the NFL. If there's a man to slow him down, it's Mike Zimmer. So this is going to be a challenge for Cooper Rush and that Cowboys offense. Outside of that, though, what are your keys to the game? Cowboys 26th all-time meeting with the Vikings. They've had the all-time series 13-12. How did they get win number 14?
Well, I'm going to stick with my same key to the game since, week 2 when we started this win streak. Defense, take the ball away. I mean, we've got to be able to take the ball away, get it back to your offense, get it back to Cooper Rush, and let them go ahead and do what they do. But when you get that interception, don't be like church. Take it out of the end zone and make the spectacular play. Trust yourself. You can do it.
I love that. Hey, call them out. Make it work.
I like that. Listen up. Rush. Don't rush. Okay, I need you to take your time. Kellen Moore, give him an opportunity. Offensive line, give him a chance, right? Just give this guy some confidence. Let him build and let him go out here and execute on offense.
And the way we can help that is having a devastating run game. Whichever team runs the ball the best may win this game. Like you say, coach is good. Coach Zim is good at holding teams down. But you know what? We run this ball, man, with some punishing blows and hit them in the body, and then you can take a knee, church.
If the Cowboys are going to get their 6th straight win, it's going to have to take winning that battle in the trenches. Nate Newton, great as always. We're just under 20 minutes to kick off NBC Sunday Night Football from US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It's the Vikings. It's the Cowboys. That's it for us on Cowboys Pregame Live. For Nate, for Isaiah, Barry, Britt, Rob, Nick, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you afterwards on DallasCowboys.com.